And thanks for joining us. Idaho Senator Jim Risch has been in the middle of a lot of things lately. Chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and a member of the Senate Committee on Intelligence. He's had a lot come across his desk. Today, he came to our studio to talk about many of those things, and he sat down with Brian Holmes, who joins us now to tell us about a couple of those topics.
Well, Tammy, they've been back in session for about a week now. But Risch, who is back home like he is almost every weekend, says it has been a busy one. Just yesterday, he was on the Senate floor introducing a bipartisan bill addressing what is happening right now in Syria. We're in the middle of a 5-day ceasefire, but many say this whole ordeal could have been avoided since the outcome of Turkey invading Syria, well, a lot of people say it was predictable. Even Senator Jim Risch knew this confrontation would be coming soon. But instead of focusing on what should have happened when it comes to the Middle East and presidential decisions, Risch hopes that this legislation that he introduced yesterday that includes ISIS strategies, restrictions on arms sales to Turkey, and heavy economic sanctions, he hopes that it'll be enough to settle things down sooner rather than later. Those sanctions, Risch says, should have a heavy impact since Turkey's economy right now is strong, making it vulnerable.
This is plowing new ground, sanctioning a NATO ally. But look, they've been pushing the envelope for a long time. And this was the right thing to do. I commend the president for putting the sanctions in place that he has. Our bill will put more in place. And I think we can get this. I think we can get this done because of the economy.
We talked a little bit more about that, but we also talked about the continuing impeachment inquiry. And if that goes to the Senate, Risch will have to basically be a juror in that case. So he didn't want to say if he believed if that impeachment inquiry is justified right now because he says it would be premature. He also mentioned he was in the meeting room with the president, the one featured in the now infamous picture of Speaker Nancy Pelosi pointing a finger at the president. Well, while the speaker made that picture her social media wallpaper, Risch says she should not be proud of it.
I've been around a lot of presidents. I've been around this president a lot. I've never seen a president be spoken to like Nancy Pelosi spoke to him in that meeting, shaking your finger in his face. That's not the way you treat a president. And he did not respond in kind. Certainly there were words exchanged between the two parties. But there was a meltdown, but it wasn't on the president's part. It was on Nancy Pelosi's part, who packed up and walked out of that meeting.
I asked him also about the third-rate comment that we've all heard about. As the president referred to Nancy Pelosi as a third-rate politician. He said he doesn't remember specifics about what was said between the two parties, but he said it was certainly heated. And according to Risch, it wasn't so much a he said, she said kind of thing, mostly a she yelled, and she continued to do so as she walked out of that meeting, which Risch said settled down into a very productive one after she left. And I mentioned, we talked a little bit about the impeachment inquiry that is over the president right now. And yeah, he's been in the middle of a lot of things. And so what's happening with that is he's going to wait to make a decision whether or not he says he agrees with the impeachment inquiry, because as it plays out, the House votes on it, passes it to the Senate. Therefore, he would become a juror. So he doesn't want to kind of, I guess, taint that pool right now as a juror and make that decision. But he's going to wait for the information to come to the Senate before he makes his decision. And you can see more. That whole interview is going to be put up on K2B's YouTube channel coming up a little bit later on this evening. You want to see the whole duration of my sit down with Senator Jim Risch.
I know a lot of people are going to be interested in that. We're glad he made the time because he is so busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Home for every weekend, though, he tries to be.
Yes. Thank you, Brian. Let's get a